All right. Welcome, everybody. And I am following an official Toastmaster agenda. I got my notes up here as well. One of my clubs of like three different clubs that I was a member of, and I am still a member of an in-person club as well that meets at Johnson Controls, which is a New York Stock Exchange company down in Boca Raton, and it's a community club as well. It's not just a corporate club. But there are Toastmasters clubs in 145 countries. I used to think it was 149. Maybe it was, and maybe three countries fell off the earth. I don't know. But that being said, our inspiration today comes from a book called The Portable Pep Talk. And this book is actually going to be the green light when you see it as I act as timer in another portion of the meeting. Wait till you see what the yellow and the red lights are. And in this portable pep talk by Alexander Lockhart, he actually did a collaboration of different authors in this book. And on page 192, it says, My purpose. My purpose is to wake up each morning with a smile, brightening my face to greet the day with reverence for the opportunities it contains. I think I scared Maurice away, or he just went black on my screen. I mean, his video went black. All
I
right.
saw that.
To approach my work with a clean mind, to hold ever before me, even in the doing of little things, the ultimate purpose toward which I am working. And by the way, Maurice, if you have a problem with your video, just hit refresh on the browser and you'll come right back in. It's a lot easier than refreshing for Zoom. To to meet men and women with laughter on my lips and love in my heart, to be gentle, kind, and courteous to all hours, and to approach the night with weariness that ever woos sleep and joy that comes from work well done. This is how I desire to spend wisely my days. By a guy named Thomas Decker. Is he somebody's neighbor? Not your neighbor? Okay, well, he's in this book. So that's our inspiration. And then we go to the Pledge of Allegiance because the founder of Toastmasters, you might have heard of Ralph Smedley before, who founded Toastmasters. The
Yes.
first time he founded a club, it was before 1922 and before October 22 when the first official Toastmasters club was founded. But before 1922, there was a club, I think, in the Virgin Islands or the Bahamas that he did a first club to, and then it didn't work or it got disbanded. And 15 years later, I think the first club was founded on October 22, 1922. So similarly, we're founding this club now, but we're not going to wait 15 years. We're going to, in the next several weeks, have 20 charter members to officially charter our brand new club, Business Meets Toastmasters. That might be the name of it. I'm still thinking whether it's Biz Meets Toastmasters or OMG Talk or something like that. So our Pledge of Allegiance in honor of Ralph Smedley. If you want to fit your frame, because I know when you stand, our heads go up to the sky. So help me do that. I pledge of allegiance to the flag
To the
of the
flag
United States of America and to the republic
and to the republic for
stands
which it stands,
one nation
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty,
with liberty and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
All right. And next up is our word of the day, which next to Mary, I think is her friend Mary, and then Mary's son gave us a word of the day that we'll try to use in our impromptu speeches today.
Would you like us to introduce the word?
What's that?
Would you like us to introduce the word?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead,
Thank
Mary or Jamie or Ruth or in unison.
Okay. The word for today is achievement, and the sentence that it can be found in is completing my book was a true literary achievement. Thank you, Mr. Sergeant of Arms.
Thank you for the word of the day.
So the
Maybe
goal
I'll
is when we're speaking, we want to use the word of the day um, during any time that we're speaking.
Okay.
And now I'm going to introduce our interim or president pro tem to do self introductions. And for self introductions, if you could just repeat your name and where you're dialing in from, if you will, where you're coming into the meeting from, your city, your state, your country, your not your bathroom, your closet, your work. So we'll start with Ruth. Repeat your name and where are you from?
Hi, I'm Ruth Fieldback. Glad to be with everybody. And I'm in Lantana, Florida, South Florida.
And then end in President Pro Tem at the end of that.
Thank you, President Pro Tem.
Thank you. And then we'll go to our next lady, since I'll have to be a little bit polite, right? Florence, tell us your name. You can repeat your name and then where you're from and then end in President Pro Tem.
Um, I'm um, I'm Florence Wood, and I'm from Virginia.
Thank you, Florence.
Yes.
You get a little bit of applause. Virginia, Florence, and then Maurice. It looks like he's on the phone, but he'll have to interrupt himself because he has to introduce himself.
I'm with you, and I'm actually using two because I can't get my audio set up on my computer properly. And Paul, when I met with you last, you made it seem so much efficient and attractive on the computer. So I have my video on my computer and my phone on audio because my computer audio is not as good as my phone audio.
Right, there's all different ways that we could multitask and be efficient uh, and deal with technology. So, welcome, Maurice. And it looks like that other box is you. So, we'll keep going, and I'll keep the waiting room open for another few more moments, and then I'll put the waiting room back up. And then I'll still let people in, though, because I could see on my end, on the organizer controls, it pays to be the Wizard of Oz, right? After introductions, we go to our Toastmaster of the evening, which will explain to us the three parts of a Toastmaster meeting and run our meeting and ask for our helper roles, etc., and all those good things. So help me welcome with a great applause, Ruth Field Beck. That's what the F stands for after Ruth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our meeting tonight. Today is Monday, July 28th, and I'm glad that we're all here together. The meeting, like every Toastmasters meeting, has three parts. The first part is, and Paul, please guide me if I make any mistakes. The first part is table topics, and that's where we learn to be comfortable to answer a question. And if we're out socially or at a conference for business, then if we're talking with someone and they ask us a question, it's a way to become more comfortable with socializing and networking. The second part is prepared, or if we are not prepared, but we're asked to speak. In this case, the speeches for this club are 4 to 6 minutes. If we're asked to speak, then we compose a speech generally around a theme or topic, and we do our best to convey whatever information we're trying to convey. Might be a little more formal than a table topic or a topic based speech. The third part is the evaluations guided by the general evaluator, and we give constructive, friendly feedback to whoever gives the speeches. Very often it's done with what's called an Oreo speech, where it's positive and then more constructive and then positive. Those are the three main points, and we'll talk more about them as we go through the meeting. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem.
Oh, well,
I think I'm
you're still running
entering
the
it
meeting, so you
last.
have to introduce the three helpers for the meeting. Start with the timer, and then I'll start speaking.
Thank you. Just to give you a little insight, I've been a Toastmaster more or less since 2008 with a little bit of breaks, and have a little bit of opportunity to wipe off a little, dust off a little rust while becoming or being the Toastmaster again for the evening. For the helpers for tonight, and there's helpers with every meeting, we have the, what is the first?
Timer, tag. Use the word
Yes.
tag for your memory jogger.
Okay, thank you.
We'll start with
So,
timer for T, for tag, and then I might as well just tell everybody as my job as timer for the meeting is just to keep track of all time during our meeting. And then Ruth is going to introduce the ah counter. And if you've never heard of an ah counter before, how many people here have ever been to a Toastmaster meeting? By a show of hands. Oh, everybody has. Fantastic. So everybody knows that the ah counter uh, keeps track of like what I just did, the filler words like ah, like, so, maybe a double clutch or a double start where you say and at the beginning of your speech. And since you guys have been to a Toastmaster meeting, would you like to do a role like keep track of ahs for us, Florence or Maurice?
I haven't done it for a long time. I can try.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a few of us here, so what better place to
Mhm.
practice, right? So I already said what the role is, what you're going to do. So just make a note of Ruth and Maurice and myself. If we say ah, like, and double clutches or double starts, and then I'll ask for your reports when I take that other role while I'm trying to multitask as general evaluator and evaluator. But I do look forward to hearing some 4 to 6 minute icebreaker speeches from all of you. So I don't have to do a speech, but I'll get to evaluate. And in a sense, that's an impromptu speech. I know that you guys don't have to prepare for your speech because you live your business every day. And if you just started your business, well, what better place to practice doing an icebreaker speech and get going there as well. And then Ruth was just about to ask me. She kicked me under the table from her house to mine, and Mary probably kicked her, and then Ruth kicked me through the table, through the internet for what the other role, helper role, is word grammarian. And
mhm.
we thanks to Jamie and Mary for giving us that word of achievement that we're all going to try to use in our speeches, impromptu speeches, and table topics, and impromptu speaking. Does Mary or Jamie, do they want to maybe keep track and stick around for the meeting and keep track of the use of the English language during the meeting? Any catchphrases that are interesting and inspiring? And how many times people use the word achievement? Is that a hard task or easy task maybe for other than having to be by the computer and listen? You think that Jamie or Mary or yourself want to keep track of the word of the day and catchphrases?
Yeah. I'm going to volunteer Mary, and she's going to be our grammarian for the evening.
Okay, great. So just has to, memorize it or keep a pen and paper or a napkin and a pen nearby. And then Ruth
Yeah,
will,
or even a cell phone.
right.
Give
And now
me
that
and
we have our
say,
helper
you can
roles,
go to my cell phone. Oh,
Ruth is going to probably introduce the table topics master, which, no surprise, it's me. I'm the judge, the chief cook, and the bottle washer. I have about 100 different kinds of topics here to surprise each and every one of you with, so you can get practice thinking on your feet. So might as well go into the role of table topics master and tell you that it's not meant to help you to stump you, but it's meant to help everybody think on their feet, whether you're in the meeting tonight or after you need to catch the recording. Perhaps maybe people could learn that there's a lot of benefits that people can get from Toastmasters. If you're looking for a job, you could learn to think on your feet when somebody gives you a topic and you don't know if it's going to be you or the guy next to you or the gal next to you. So the timing criteria for table topics, I know you can't wait to hear this. To make it easier too, so you can see a bigger version of whoever's speaking. I keep my computer setting at the very top of the screen. There's three vertical dots in a little black space next to the timer clock, and those three vertical dots make it bigger for whoever is speaking, and then everybody else is on the right side in a thumbnail. If you want to see everybody, you can on a regular PC, you can do Control minus to make everybody fit on the right side, or Control plus to make it bigger. If we had 20 people, you might have to make people tiny, and the speaker is there. So with that in mind, I call upon the timer. Hello, everybody. I'm going to use the timer on my iPhone, and you're going to really see how I can multitask or not. And for the timing for table topics will be 1 minute. You will see this will symbolize the green light, which there's some green in here unless you're heavily colorblind. I picked great books that I think all business people should read. So at the green light, you'll see this at 1 minute. At the yellow light, which it generally looks yellow, you'll see this book. The Other Side is another great book, The Master Key to Riches by Napoleon Hill. And that's 1.5 minutes. And at 2 minutes, you'll see the red book or the red light. And then you'll have 30 seconds to wrap up. I set the timer. If you have a table topic that you end up having to answer, and it asks you for very little information, feel free to digress a little bit to get to the 1 minute mark. I inspire you to try to do that. But you do have a maximum of 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm.
So here we go. I'm going to look at some handy dandy questions and then I'm going to call on somebody. So, drum roll, please. How would you describe your future in 3 words? How would you describe your future in 3 words, Maurice? I'm going to start the clock as soon as I hear your first word.
So,
Okay, 3 words or less about my future. Digital nomad, enjoy. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Maurice Loriano. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Mr. Paul, Mr. Everything, on raging the clock with the 2 hands up for doing it all. I am a distinguished Toastmaster out of New York, and I will say that it's been such a whirlwind of a life for me in the sense that in the last year, I have not been seen my home. I've not slept in my bed. I've not seen or hugged my children and granddaughter. And that's all because I am a digital nomad that has spent 4 months in Colombia. I've spent 6 months in Mexico. I am currently in Guatemala, where I'm going to spend 2 months. And before I go to next trip is El Salvador for another 4 months. So my life in the future, I live out of a suitcase. Is that possible? Live out suitcase? Yes. And digital nomad explore. So thank you very much for that wonderful question. It is a intro to what I have to tell you more about next. And so I look forward to explaining how and why I became a digital nomad in this epicenter of Trump. But I'm bummed.
Maurice, 201. And I'm making a note of your time, and then we'll go to our next victim. I mean, Toastmaster to be, or
okay,
Toastmaster,
good.
or business owner, small business owner, workaholic, professional, entrepreneur. Reset my clock. If you could do it all over again, would you change anything, Ruth?
Thank you, Topics Master. I would change almost everything. I want to be the poster child or poster senior for making sure that people are encouraged to plan ahead. It's great to enjoy your life during each stage of your life, but make sure that you're planning. Be thankful for each gift that people give you, whether it's a meal for an evening or it's something a little more substantial or an inheritance, make sure that you're planning well. A few things that I would not redo: I would stay married to my husband, I would keep my best friend Mary as my friend, and I would continue to work for some of the jobs. I would be a little braver at applying for some of the jobs that I didn't feel I was ready for, and I would have found a way to make sure that I did my very best for them. I was recently downsized when I'm considering upsize because it's part of the adventure of life. And I have restarted my business, which is how I get to be in this business to business Toastmasters group. I'm reacquainting and getting closer with friends and reviewing my life. So, would I do it over differently if I had the opportunity? Yes, I most definitely would. Doesn't mean it was bad, just means that I would have taken other opportunities. But the point is, I'm still young enough, I can still do some of what I haven't done. Thank you, Topics Master.
Let's give a round of applause for Ruth and Maurice as well, as I'm noting the time. And now we'll move along to our next table topic. And I do want to acknowledge Taylor for joining us today. Welcome. We're in the middle of our table topics, which is the third part of our Toastmaster meeting. Have you ever been to Toastmasters, Taylor?
No.
Okay, so you're in for a treat because we have a full packed agenda that we do on every Monday at 5:30 as we're trying to form a founding Toastmasters club called BIZ Meets Toastmasters. So full of small business owners, entrepreneurs, and workaholic professionals. If you know one, feel free to bring them now or next time with the guest link, omgtalk.com, like everybody here came in today. So our next table topic, and Taylor, if you wish, you're okay with doing a 1 minute table topic, you could put something in the chat so I know to call you after. I won't bring it on you so fast because the job of table topics is not to stump anybody, but help people think on their feet, use it in all kinds of business situations, these skills that we have here. So our next table topic is: what do you usually think about on your drive home from work? What do you usually think about from your drive home from work, Florence?
Um, Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, and guests. Usually, when I'm driving after work from home, I will basically for the first couple minutes, I will just doesn't think of anything, just relax, and then review what I have done. Basically, um, sorry, the things that I should do better. Maybe sometimes I drive a little bit fast than the speed limit, and I see a cop next to me. Then I realize that I should drive a little bit slower. Um, Likewise, as things happen, other work happens. Sometimes it's very happy, sometimes it's not. And I will think something I could do a bit better. And so I would try to do it better next time. And basically, that's what I'm thinking. And also turn on the radio and what's on the news. And that's what I usually do. And but most of the time, if something happens, something goes wrong or not as good as I hope, then I will usually think about what I should I could doing a little bit better than what I did. So I will try to do it better next time if similar things happen.
And let's all applaud for Florence. Good job.
So I haven't spoken for a long time. So.
Well, I'm sure you speak, just not in a Toastmaster meeting, or maybe you're not out there giving keynote speeches, but you never know. Thanks for coming here. And we move on to our next table topic to save on time there. So I had the topic right here on my screen. I'm just trying to scroll right to it. I had a really good topic. Oh boy. Here it is. When did you first realize, when did you first realize that life is short? When did you first realize that life is short? Finkelstein. That's the guy that's speaking. I get to speak again. All right. I realized that life is short. You're not going to believe this, fellow Toastmasters to be, Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmaster Maurice, President Pro Tem. I could talk to myself and Toastmaster of the day, Ruth. I realized that life is short when my grandmother made it to 102 years old last January. And I consider 102 years short. I also do consider 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years also short. And anywhere in between, I think we've had friends and family that have either passed away tragically or through, well, I guess some kind of an illness. I guess all that could be tragic, I suppose, if it's earlier than 70, 80, 90. Sometimes I feel like it's great that maybe somebody passed away at a nice old age of like 70 or 80. Why? Because sometimes I think that they actually escaped the years of maybe they could be living in a nursing home or a assisted living facility. But sometimes those places, I'm going to hold up the green for myself and then I'm going to hold up the yellow for myself and then I can continue speaking. But I think life is truly short, and that's why everybody I encourage or inspire to have a dream at all ages of life, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, because when you have a dream and a purpose, you no longer are focusing on your problems. You're no longer focusing on anything that bothers you today. And that's the secret that's in this book, the Think and Grow Rich book, is to help people realize that you never have to worry again if you have a purpose and a dream. Okay, I'm putting my name down. I'm ending my table topic. I'm talking while I speak. I just did a Myers Briggs self test for about 5 questions. I didn't know you could have a Myers Briggs self question test in only 5 seconds to tell my personality, whether I'm an introvert or an extrovert. It reminded me that I guess I lean toward the extrovert side, but I not always naturally a extrovert. Sometimes I don't like to walk up to people in the supermarket and say hi to everybody. But my boss would probably say that I should do that, but I don't want to come across as a salesperson. But I do want to come across as somebody that likes to do that. Like I picture Ruth doing that. All right. On that note, our table topic session is done. I could take a break from timer for at least a couple of seconds. And now we will vote on our favorite table topic. So unless Taylor would like to do one, I have another topic if you want. You don't have to. Guests don't have to speak, by the way, as well. So just glad you're here.
Yes, no.
All right. So did you say yes or no?
I mean, okay, give me one. I'll try.
Okay, I'll give you one. Why not? Okay, so let's see. Where or who do you turn to when you need good advice? Where or who do you turn to when you need good advice? Taylor.
When I need, okay, when I need good advice, I typically turn to someone that I trust their judgment and their capacity to give good direction based on where they are in life or where they are just on a mental capacity, because you don't have to be rich to have common sense. So typically, that person is either my mother or my mentor in my industry, depending on what the concern is. My mother isn't very tech savvy, so I wouldn't really go to her for any technical questions. But if it's something on a personal level, I may go to my mom. And if it's something on a technical level, I would go to my mentor to inquire about their expertise on the topic. Um, that's typically who I go to.
Excellent. You made it just to the minute, so we'll applaud for you as well. At a Toastmaster meeting in 145 countries, you're guaranteed to get applause. You're not in the
Okay.
real world, in business, maybe not so much. So let's
No.
put down Taylor and approximate times. Everybody did qualify, so you're welcome to now vote for your favorite table topic today, and we'll announce that winner at the end of our meeting at 7 o'clock. So on that note,
Mr. Pro Temper, how do you want everybody to vote? Should
good
they send?
idea. Since my number is on the site for the stage at omgtalk.com, if you want to make a note on there where it says event hotline, and I'll tell it to you now, which is 561 area code 302-0051. That's 561-302-0051. And just say the first name of the person that you enjoyed their table topic the most, even though everybody was amazing. And then I will get that to our Toastmaster of the evening. And now I will turn over the meeting to our Toastmaster of the eve, Ruth Fieldbeck in Lantana. And by the way, Taylor, what city and country are you from? I'm assuming U.S.
Yes, Atlanta,
Okay,
Georgia.
we have Georgia in the house. All right, Ruth, take it away.
Thank you, Topics Master and President Pro Tem. Taylor, very glad to have you with us. Very glad to have everyone with us. I understand this is your first Toastmasters meeting, and you did really well on the table topic speech.
Oh, by the way,
The
Ruth,
three,
feel free to, if everybody wants to give a 4 to 6 minute about why and how they started their business, or you could start with the choices of Florence and Maurice. And if Taylor would like to talk for 4 to 6 minutes, longer than that table topic, you could let the other guys go first if you'd like, and let them sweat it out. And give us an introduction for your business. Just my only requirement for doing your 4 to 6 minutes about why and how you started your business is you must stay to the end to get a distinguished Toastmaster to evaluate you. But of course, Maurice can't evaluate himself, so I'll give you guys a treat, and I'll tackle it and multitask as well, and you'll hear from me later. Actually, now when Ruth calls upon before one of the speakers as you do an intro, usually you call upon the evaluator to say the purpose of the person's speech. Since we're a demonstration club and we're not working through the pathways that you get in a speech manual, we're using icebreakers to give business owners a chance to get some claim to fame about their business, but also learn the Toastmaster way and get some business coaching for free from the evaluation portion. So go ahead, Ruth, and pick somebody, and then I'll mention my little blurb about the evaluation.
And Ruth, if
thank
you don't mind, can I just interrupt the share? I'll go first,
you.
and
Great.
I would gladly volunteer to be the evaluator for the others to help share the burden of Paul's extra skills share today.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Maurice. Paul, I
Oh,
don't know if you were starting to say
oh, so
something.
Maurice is going to go first. So the purpose of Maurice's speech for 4 to 6 minutes is he's going to get right to the point and tell us why and how he started his business. And hopefully he inspires us too.
Always, of course. You don't know my energy, man? Paul. So
I,
Paul.
I'm learning every day.
That's right. It's an achievement. It's totally an achievement, right? You know,
Yes,
snap up to Florence. Thank you, Talia. You're the best. You look beautiful here. Thank you for being so courageous like me to share my background. Um, I am, you didn't hear, a digital nomad currently in Petén, Flores, Guatemala. And it's a small little island with about 200 people. And I volunteer in a hotel to do a work exchange. And so what happened to me, and I'd imagine all of you at some point will have this happen, I was 47 years old, opening a letter from the Social Security Administration, and it said, if I work until 70 years old, okay, I work until 70, they'll give me $3,000 a month. I don't know if any of you have ever received a letter like that, but $3,000 a month, Paul and I talked about this a few weeks ago, is not enough to live off of. More importantly than that, I was in a very high stress position in the New York City Department of Education in the chancellor's office, responsible for 900 schools and a position that was understaffed. But at the end of December, they said, you know what? The asylum crisis is so bad, they needed to reorg, which is what every city agency does, right? When they need to find money. And they reorged me out of a job. Lawrence, it sounds like something you might be familiar with. I was devastated because I really didn't expect to go from having my city income paycheck, which was, I'd say, anywhere between $8,000 a month, to going to nothing and being told that, oh, I can have $3,000 if I wait until I'm 70 years old. Okay, so I was like, all right, time for me to figure this out. I had a beverage business that I wanted to do, but then, if any of you know about 2022 and experienced it, COVID happened. Ooh, COVID. So no business for me, no juice business, everything's closed. I had to redo this again. And so I decided that I'm going to do a virtual consulting business as a government sales strategist. And I was going to sell all the gritty secrets of New York City procurement to anyone and everyone who will do a 30-minute coaching call with me, who needs help writing a proposal, who wants to become a New York City vendor, who desires the idea of what an insider can leverage for rare experience, right? That's what I did. And so in the last 2 years, I've helped about 77 businesses. Those 77 businesses have a range from curriculum to technology to products that are still in development. And it's a range of exactly what everyone needs. And so I consider it a roadmap. And my roadmap is a success story in the sense that I've been able to support Black and brown businesses, LGBTQ, international audiences as far as Australia, all come to me to seek out my expertise. And I support them in bringing their product to market in New York. Essentially, it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey because it's not something that I planned to do initially, but it's where I'm at now. And if I had to tell you where I'm going to go next, I would definitely Think and Grow Rich by having a business trust in Belize. I've already done my research. I want an international trust for my business in a different country to have my money go outside the US. Then what I'm going to do is have my payments go in cryptocurrency as a Bitcoin, stable Bitcoin, of course, so that as Bitcoin goes up, because if you know anything about, dial-up, AOL, remember those days? This is that time in Bitcoin, okay? The money is going to go up. And yes, it's going to bounce, but it's just like the World Wide Web. It went from some people having it to everyone having it. And I know that is my going to be claim to fame, legacy, trust to my granddaughter so that she can work if she chooses to. But it's about having the choice. And there aren't enough black and brown children that have the choice. Because I sincerely believe if you work, you're poor. You're poor. And one of my favorite all-time mentors, Talia, when you talked about mentoring, he said he wanted to have the option to choose who he works for and choose when he works. Can't tell you, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm in Guatemala. In a few hours, I'll be in the lake. This morning, I was having a avocado as fresh as you can get them. Oh my gosh. By all means, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, I'm not sure, Ruth, if I'm going back and forth between Paul since he's doing everything, Mrs. Accounter, you can make a difference just like me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Maurice. Who would like to be our second speaker for tonight? Florence, will you speak for us for 4 to 6 minutes about your business?
And let
Okay.
Maurice tell the purpose, since he'll be the evaluating the next speaker. Maurice could say the purpose of Florence's speech is to tell us about her business.
Mhm.
Right, Maurice?
Maurice, that would be great. Florence, are you up for speaking tonight?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll try.
thank you.
I'll
So
try.
Florence is going to wow her with her historical story in under 6 minutes of how she got to where she's at. Thank you, Madam Florence. Please, the stage is yours.
But before you actually speak, Florence, Ruth, I didn't do it before Maurice spoke.
Yes.
So you guys know officially the timing parameters for a 4 to 6 minute introductory speech. As at 4 minutes, you'll see the green light or the book with green letters on it, Think and Grow Rich. And then you'll see at
Oh, okay.
5 minutes, the yellow. And then at 6 minutes, the red. It's Dave Thomas, by the way, founder of Wendy's. He used to work for Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then you'll have 30 seconds to wrap up, maximum at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Take it away, Florence.
Okay. All right. Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster, Mr. Maurice, and guests. Um, my name is Florence Wood, and I live in Virginia. I am a public adjuster and with a background in real estate. And a lot of people ask me what is public adjuster. Some of you may know, some people you don't know. I am a public insurance adjuster. We represent homeowners and business owners, making sure that they are treated fairly by the insurance company, and most importantly, get paid fairly by the insurance company when they have a claim. And how I started it, a lot of people ask me the same questions. And I'm in real estate, and a lot of customer ask me, "Do you know how to? Do you know anyone who knows how to repair this?" And the insurance doesn't pay for it, and this and that. So for one occasion, I was approached by is a real estate related a gentleman who's asking me for if I know anyone who has in anything that insurance related damages denied by the insurance company. I said it just happened that I know someone who asked me just opposite questions. Do you know about the insurance not paying for that? And I just happened they are a good fit. So, and I think this is well, because a lot of people do not know about insurance adjuster as related to what I'm doing, and it's basically helping people, and they represent the homeowners and business owners, and in that case, and the other party, the homeowner, get the extra compensation. Well, actually, I don't extra compensation or just is paid by the insurance company, and that's why I got into that. And then not very many people know about it, and I actually very enjoy it very much. Is helping people. I see people get denied for no, for I'm not in that industry, and I'm not in, I mean, on the insurance side, and they are looking for themselves and looking out for themselves, and it's very happy to have someone, and actually they I mean, they deserve what they get, they, because they are paying the insurance. And then I'm still, it's the area I cover is small, and I'm expanding, and I enjoy it, and I enjoyed helping people, and that's where I am now. And and I will keep doing it until I cannot do it. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing us about how and why you do your business.
Hillia, speakers typically need to have attended a meeting or need to have joined before speaking. You're very welcome to speak tonight if you would like to tell us about your business or about your endeavors. If you want to, this is your opportunity. You could speak for 4 minutes, a little longer than the topic speech that you spoke on. And if you don't make the full 4 minutes, that's also fine. It's a little more of an opportunity for you to experience Toastmasters. Would you like to speak tonight?
No, I'm okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Okay. It's going to be an achievement for me. I wasn't prepared to speak tonight, but I don't think any of us were. We just
We want to
come
hear
in
from you, Ruth.
and very
Maurice,
happy to.
Maurice and I will both evaluate you. We'll take a couple of minutes each.
Oh, that's very kind. I appreciate it. My name is Ruth Fieldbeck, and I'm currently wearing three hats. The first hat is what has been the majority of my work life, my career, if you will. I have predominantly worked for employers, and I have predominantly worked in call centers. If you think of the 800 numbers that you call, whether it's for an airplane ticket or any supply that you need for you or for your animal friends, your pets, any 800 number that you call. I'm the voice behind those numbers. These are called call centers, and I have spent a lot of time talking on the phone, some time talking, giving speeches, given about maybe 30 or 40 speeches during my time in Toastmasters. I've also done a lot of data entry, and I was also through Toastmasters from South Florida down through the Keys, through the Bahamas. So I haven't traveled, but my words have traveled, Maurice, traveled a little bit. I was the first social media chair. There's a lot of forms of communication, and Toastmasters realized around 2012 that social media was gaining popularity, and each district should have social media pages for their clubs, their district, their regions within their districts, within the larger districts, and there's also national as well as national website. So a lot of different forms of communication through Toastmasters. And I am very happy to tell you, reminisce a little bit about having been the first social media chair because of my great love for social media, and because, as some people call me, I'm a people connector.
Mhm.
One of my great mentors here in Toastmasters had called me that. And when I went to the Toastmasters conference in 2012, during that nice weekend, that Saturday night, I was volunteering and I was called a mood enhancer, which is one of the greatest thrills that I've ever been called. I took this hobby and I formed a public relations agency, the public relations person. I try to be positive, try to have an optimistic outlook, and I've named my business Positively Representing You because there's so many forms of communication. each person who owns a business, Florence, whether it's you as the adjuster or if it's Maurice who is using his experience and building his nest egg and his legacy, and Taylor, your business, Paul, certainly your business, each person should be able to choose what they want somebody to use as far as their form of communication. So I just want to represent people, and I'm positively representing them instead of doing what I think is best. It's their option, and I try to bring in the positive nature as I'm talking with people on behalf of my clients. My other hat, my third hat, is having achieved being with people, family members, friends, clients, as they were making the transition from life here on earth to eternity and wherever eternity is taking us. I was a caregiver and I was there in some cases as people were taking their last breath. I learned in January that that's actually a profession. It's called doula, Doula. It's an ancient Greek word for being a servant. And it's certainly a service to be there for somebody, making sure that they're not alone as they're taking and giving back that last breath, that life flow, if you will. That's my third hat. And I hope to make a huge difference for people and their businesses and their lives and also for their families. As Maurice had said, he's leaving a legacy. My legacy is helping people to be the best that they can be and for me to be the best that I can be as I represent them. And back to me as Toastmaster. I'm not sure if Florence and Maurice's connections are good.
Right.
Mm.
I think that they
So,
dropped off, and if they come back or able to come back or have Wi-Fi issues, we're still going to. We have at least one or two people that could handle the evaluations and took notes for our first speaker, Maurice, and then Florence, and then Ruth. So I'll get to do a evaluation and give you a sample of what a business coaching is through Toastmasters, especially for business people, in a 2 to 3 minute time period. I might as well as general evaluator is the third part of our meeting is evaluation. So Ruth, I'll take it from here. The general evaluator oversees the reports for the meeting and goes over how we did for the timer and the counter and grammarian and the word of the day and how many people used the word of the day. There's so much achievement that have been going on in this word, taking guts to leave the ruts and to be able to give a speech. But we teach people in baby steps because we have little roles like in our agenda that I wrote up today, Taylor. We had even a role called inspiration, which I read at the beginning of the meeting as Sergeant at Arms to inspire us. And I just opened the book and I read it. So there's all kinds of ways to break into the land of public speaking. So if you want to grow your business and be a better public speaker, you are in the right place at the right time. But there are Toastmasters clubs in 145 countries around the world, and even in person, not just online. Around the block from you, you can go to toastmasters.org and type in your zip code and find one really close to you. But here, this is the closest you'll ever get to you is just coming into omgtalk.com, clicking on the stage, and you're in a Toastmaster meeting. You can't get any closer than that. And so if you're traveling to Bucharest, Romania, or El Salvador, or Florida, and wherever you are, on that note, as the general evaluator, we'll start with the evaluations. I know I'm glad that Maurice is here so he could go over Florence's. He probably took notes for Florence's talk as well. And I'll do the evaluation for Ruth because I know you got knocked off for a bit of her speech. Not that you probably couldn't say something amazing to help Ruth improve as well. The evaluation, I would call upon the timer as general evaluator or evaluator to our or general evaluator to ask for the timing criteria for evaluations. which are 2 minutes. You'll be the green light or the green book. And then at 2.5 minutes, the yellow, and then at 3 minutes, the red, of which the evaluator will have 30 seconds to wrap up. So for our first speaker, we had Maurice. I call upon myself, Paul Finkelstein. As a distinguished Toastmaster, I've been to Toastmasters every day, every year, every feels like it definitely was every year. For 7 years, it was every week, once a week. I went to an in-person Toastmasters. And so the timing parameters. The purpose though of evaluations, we kind of use we do use the Oreo cookie method or sandwich method of evaluations that multi-million dollar companies use for their employees for performance evaluations. At least if they're doing it smart and they want to retain their employees, they want to give them some kudos and some compliments, like start off on a high note and say two or three things that the speaker did really well. Say one tip to improve, and then end on a high note, two or three things that they did well, and then wanting them to come back, especially if you're employed. They want their employee to come back and not have to keep training people because that could be pretty expensive. Same thing here. We're not paying you to come here, so our job is to be inspiring, to show you what the full format is up until 90 minutes of three speakers and a full Toastmaster meeting that you can go to anywhere around the country and get. So there's the Oreo cookie method. Now, back to our speaker at hand, fellow Toastmasters, Toastmasters to be, most welcome guest, distinguished Toastmaster Maurice, distinguished Toastmaster Paul, uh, high-level Toastmaster Ruth, and our most welcome guest Taylor, and our most welcome guest Kathy. If you could hear us, but I can't see your video, so thank you for being here, Kathy, as well. We will catch this on the recording on the podcast at omgtalk.com, and you can see down below there. I'll put it up as soon as I can, but I know after our meeting, I probably will be too tired to do it today from all this multitasking. So I will start my timer here for Maurice's evaluation. Here we go.
Thank you, Master Paul.
So Maurice,
I'm going to evaluate Florence.
I'm going to evaluate you right now first. You're the first.
Oh yes, go for it. Okay, yes, yes. Thank you.
So Maurice is and was, when he spoke for his 4 to 6 minute icebreaker speech about how and why he started his business, was amazing because he has a high level of enthusiasm. I think you have a high level of enthusiasm because he's done a lot of speaking before. He's also told us and announced that he is a distinguished Toastmaster, which it takes a lot of time to do that. At least a year or two or three, or sometimes people do it in 30 years. I don't know how long you did it in, but I have a sense that you've done it many times coming to a Toastmaster meeting. You have the great enthusiasm, vocal variety, and I heard through Toastmasters and some other sources that 55% of public speaking is nonverbal, and 38% is tone of voice, and 7% is content. So you really do have to engage with your audience to keep them alive because we have so many ways that people get distracted, like they turn their cameras off online so they could eat while they come to a meeting. That's why, or I can't excuse for the Wi-Fi and blame you guys. It could happen to me as well. It only happened once to me today so far, and not in this meeting, but when you're meeting with clients, I guess you have to have backup. There, one tip that I would love to see you improve, Maurice, because I did love your gestures and you went woo like this and you waved your hands and that really woke us up. But here's my tip that I would love, and I think I've said this in the last three speakers, and I'm just becoming my favorite catch-all for a tip to improve. You must have a picture of some Bitcoin, or maybe you have some coins you have on your desk that could use as a prop. A prop is the magic word that I'm looking for. And if you could hold that up, not a background, that's different from a prop, but your background could be instrumental in your speech as well. Because you said you're in Ecuador or Guatemala, and maybe
Guatemala today.
Coca-Cola has some significance where you are, or they just like Coke. So a prop is something I'd love to see at your future speeches. But you were enthusiastic and you are achieving greatness. And I'm getting in the word of the day extra. All right, so now I'm at 2 minutes and 42 seconds, so I think I could stop. I'm only announcing it. I'm not trying to make a practice doing the timer in between it, but I'm trying to be effective in going in and out of roles for today. On that
Well,
note,
you're modeling how to do it with diligence and successful achievement.
exactly. Thank you. And now,
It's it.
General Evaluator, I'm going to go back to you so that we could send a nice little video follow up. Is a key for fortune is made in the follow up. So we'll send out the recording for this to Florence, who's that public adjuster. She gave a talk. Here's Kathy back. Maybe she could hear us. So you'll tell us in 2 to 3 minutes. I'll start the clock for Maurice evaluating Florence.
I felt Florence was a great speaker. I appreciated her enthusiastic story because I really got the sense of what she shared. And two things that really stood out to me within what she shared. First is the definition of what an adjuster does. And second, how she enjoys helping people. I wrote that down because it's clear in her conversation, in her tone, that she really does enjoy helping people. I got that. And it was something that I would have liked to see more of her face because unfortunately it was like this on my end, which is why I actually changed from my phone to my computer to see if I can get it better. And then now I'm back on my phone and I'm holding my phone, if you notice, because I can just adjust it better. And so that's a tip that I would have I do recommend to her is to see how to adjust the screen so that you can show up in the best proportionality. Finally, in closing, I think Florence really has a way of messaging her contribution to the world. And I would love to hear from her again and to hear a more scripted pitch that would be articulate enough for the layperson to understand why we should choose her as an adjuster. And so that is my contribution and my evaluation of Florence's speech. I really do think she can go far in Toastmasters and that there's a lot of potential in what she has to say because I wanted to listen to more and definitely think others will want to listen to her continue as she continue her Toastmasters journey. Thank you. Back to you.
Plenty of time there, but I appreciate your valuing our times. Okay, Maurice evaluated, making a note of that. And then I'll put myself back on the docket to evaluate our esteemed Toastmaster of the day and special speaker. Kathy did put a comment in the chat that she's not able to get her camera on. You are also able, if you want to, you could hit the refresh on your browser since this is a browser-based cloud meeting. If you hit refresh and come back in, maybe it might work, or maybe the gear symbol and see what kind of camera is taking over, or you could just listen and then we'll catch you on the replay and a computer IT person might be able to help you next time. If you still have Zoom up on your end, that might be a reason why you're not able to do your camera because the different platforms between Teams and Google Meet and Zoom sometimes do not like to communicate with each other because they are naturally competition. That would be my first thought about that. So now I will do the same criteria for 2 to 3 minutes, evaluating Ruth Fieldbeck, our Toastmaster of the evening. She spoke today about her business, Positively You. I can't come up with a better title for a business and a speech than Positively You. And what an achievement to even think of using a name like Positively You. She also volunteered graciously to be Toastmaster of the day, whether she was afraid or not. Ruth is not afraid of anything. I've got a chance to know her over the years. She's the reason why I got back into Toastmasters, believe it or not. In 2014, Ruth ran into, nothing to do with her speech tonight, but just to show you about her enthusiasm, that she ran into my wife. She's okay, that nobody got hurt, at a local deli in town in Coral Springs, Florida, named 2J's. And she said, you should check out Toastmasters. It would help your public speaking. And ever since, from 2014 to 2023, I went every week to a local club in Boca Raton, Florida, and achieved Distinguished Toastmaster. I was an area director for Miami, Florida, for 6 different clubs and over 150 Toastmasters, and all the other clubs and guests in the area in Miami, near Doral, Florida. We held where Carnival was located, the company, the cruise company. We had and we carpooled in the car together with Mary on the sofa over there as well, next to Ruth. It was fun to get to know them then and now, and it was great to be able to prepare for and learn how to handle a contest in Toastmasters, as well as division contest, area contest, etc. Thank you, Ruth, for your enthusiasm. And to make a long story longer, your enthusiasm from that rubbed off on your speech as well. You haven't dropped it off, because I do know that enthusiasm. We're not all enthusiastic or motivated every single day. I think there are certain times that you have to recharge yourself, and I don't know what you guys do to recharge yourself. Maybe it's coming to a Toastmasters club. Maybe it's putting on a video like Jimmy Valvano, a former and the late Jimmy Valvano, that was an amazing basketball coach. If you never heard him, you could Google it, YouTube him. Great to recharge as well. Plus, our evaluations are not just for the speaker or Ruth or Maurice's evaluation for Florence. Everybody in the room gets to pay to hear the evaluation that might benefit themselves as well. I know Maurice agrees because he keeps nodding his head. And I don't think it's because he has a crick in his neck. I think he's just addicted to Toastmasters. So thank you for being here. At that point, I have reached my time limit. I will say the same thing that Maurice said for Ruth. Maybe adjust your camera framing on occasion so that we see less of the ceiling. I'm glad you don't have one of those helicopters in your apartment called a ceiling fan. There you go. Now we could see. I think your assistant, Mary, is probably lowering it to play around with it. I just had this hunch. Or maybe Ruth is doing it to herself. Oh, you're framing it so we can see both of you. Fantastic. That makes a perfect wallet photo. And now the general evaluator would actually ask you guys, did the timing criteria, ask the timer? Yes, everybody qualified with the time. They were well within the 3 minutes and 30 seconds to wrap up. So they qualify. So if you guys could all vote for your favorite evaluator, well, Maurice or Paul, and text me at 561-302-0051, and then I'm just going to text it back to Ruth, because whoever's Toastmaster of the day gets the privilege of announcing our award winner. So say who your favorite speaker was, Ruth, and you could break a tie too. So I give it to your discretion. If you can't read people's handwriting, or they were typing crazy and they got too many emojis when they were texting me, just pick somebody you think is the best speaker to you, Ruth, and the best evaluator and the best table topics, and then we'll make up a certificate, because that certificate is recognition that everybody needs, but also is great instant public relations to continue growing our club. As far as the evaluation of the entire meeting that the general evaluator does, other than the mechanics of a Toastmaster meeting, it is amazing that Toastmasters has a well-oiled machine and engine to make a meeting so that whenever a guest comes in, whether it's Kathy, who doesn't have her camera on because of technology, that I just hinted at is the only thing that is always an ongoing issue for people, and we can't help that. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Can you deal with it? And if there's a way that you cannot turn your camera off, unlike Kathy that can't turn her on, this is a funny way of a low tech version of turning off your camera. It's called using a post-it note, and that's how you could now you could walk across the screen if there was somebody walking behind you that you didn't want to be on camera or something. All right, so our meeting, the timer, I told you the reports for that. I guess I'll go back through the table topics. Everybody was on time within 2 minutes. The speeches were great, well within time. Maurice was at 6:07 and Ruth was at 5:30. So you know for future that you guys were perfect and on time. Florence is coming back to Toastmasters, although she had some either technology issues or an appointment or didn't get my message that if you're going to give a speech here on any Monday night at 5:30 to get free business coaching, I only require people to keep the camera on and stay till 7 o'clock. But when Florence did speak, she got to 3 minutes, almost there at 4 minutes. She just had one more minute to go. I sometimes worry that business owners are going to talk for 10 minutes and chew off our ears while they're talking and tell us some god awful pitch that none of us want to hear, but we do want to be educated about. Thank you for taking my picture. I'll just smile this way. Got my left side, got my right side. I see Mary taking my picture. Maurice smiles. She's taking all of our pictures. She's going to put it on her Facebook account. She's going to promote us. Thank you. All right. That was our speakers. Our evaluations were pretty much on time too, within like 5 or 10 seconds, over or under a 2:30 or 2:42. I think I was at 2:42, so you guys forgive me for going like 15 seconds over. I hope. Okay. All right. I think no, he doesn't forgive me. Okay, thank you. He's smiling at the same time. I'm still going to come back next week. You're not scaring me. All right. It was quite an achievement to be able to at least multitask and pull off another full wealth demonstration Toastmaster meeting. Now, I
And
turn.
Mr. General Evaluator,
Yes. You have a question before I turn over the meeting to the next contestant?
well, just a comment that we have the grammarian here ready to give a report on, we're going to give a co-report, but
Yeah.
Mary's going to do the majority. It is an achievement for her because
We're,
usually
we're
she
going to ask her,
attends.
Ruth, if she could not only do the grammarian, like any catchphrases or interesting words of inspiration, or how many times people use the achievement, but also I'm going to throw at you another challenge. If you heard someone say so, like, but, those filler words for the yacht counter, throw that out to Mary. Love to hear your voice.
No, I can't.
Okay. Well, Mary took some notes and I'm going to help read them. I know all three of us used achievement. Many of, or Maurice and Paul, you used it multiple times. As far as the counters, Mary noted that you said, and I think she is saying that I may have used something too, as well as the
No,
achievement.
no, you didn't.
Taylor used It's very common, as we all know, especially with first timers. I was very impressed by her. Florence used and she used the word basically, which we may have been impressed by.
I thought that was a filler
And
word.
oh, no, not so much.
Really?
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate all of your involvement.
Judge Judy calls it
And
a filler word.
and okay, and Jamie's coming up with the word achievement.
And thanks for inviting us into the inside of Mary's house too. It's great to be able to see, where she sleeps and brushes her teeth every day.
Come
Thank you
visit.
as well.
Oh, you're welcome. When you are done traveling, or if you're what's it? The nomad.
Maurice?
What what's that phrase? I
Yes,
thought that phrase was wonderful. When you're done in Guatemala, if you come to South Florida, come and visit us.
for sure, for sure. I want to see more of Paul's shirts like that.
Oh, I got a whole closet full of them. I call they're either Hawaiian or Jamaican shirts or what it feels like to be retired. So I want to get used to wearing more of these.
And
Maurice,
as a just comment for the meeting, I just want to applaud you for the books as your colors.
Isn't that
I
catchy?
really did. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look those up later. Thank you. That was not only a great idea, but also Um,
This one here is a
I'm a reader. I'm a nerd, so
the front one,
appreciate it.
The Master Key to Riches, also by Napoleon Hill, is a great book too. On that note, Ruth,
Could I say one more
Rummel,
thing?
please, could you tell us all three of your favorite speaker, your favorite evaluator, and your favorite table topic that you heard today? Who did it? If you remember what they said, you could add that.
I most definitely will. Thank you, Mr. President Pro Tem. I thought Taylor did a fantastic job as a first time attendee to Toastmasters. She had said that she has never attended Toastmasters before. She did a good job. She spoke the entire time. She was composed. She mentioned mentors, and that alone is praiseworthy for being a business owner, leader, and using mentors. Maurice, I would agree with everything Paul said. You are eloquent, you are charming, looks like you're enjoying life. And I think that's wonderful. I want to be you. Then I don't have to
Thank
be a
you.
poster child anymore for missed opportunities. I also definitely thank both of you very, very much. My husband had also mentioned about adjusting the screen. It seems that recruiters are now using and hiring managers are now using Zoom and Google Meets and so much more. And I've had pre calls before actually going into an office, but with everything being online so much more, it's important to be framed because if you're not framed, they think you don't know how to use the computer. And if the camera and audio don't work, they think you don't know how to use a computer. So this helps a lot. I really appreciate both of you.
We
So
we need to do
that
more applause at our meeting too, Maurice, because otherwise people are not going to think it's a Toastmaster meeting.
sure.
Indeed, indeed. I have to hold my phone though to get this angle, so I will give you a snap. How about that? I don't
Yeah,
know if you can even
Okay.
hear it. A
like what
snap.
you did with your
That
hands.
works.
That kind of looks
Yeah,
like energy.
the jazz hands.
Yeah, that's what they are. Yeah. Now the
Yes.
drum roll, Ruth. You're gonna tell us your favorite table topic, the speaker, and the
Thank you.
evaluator. So you
Thank
say,
you.
are you saying
Maurice,
that Taylor's your favorite?
Taylor's my favorite
Okay.
for the table topics,
Okay.
and Maurice is my favorite for both speeches.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you.
Table
You're
And
topic.
very
and
welcome.
here's my favorite view of the day.
Oh,
Just
that's
showing
beautiful.
a little bit of Guatemala, and I'm right on the pier of Lake Bataan, so I get to have this as my what I'm going to do next activity. That's looking forward to.
Thank you
Well,
for
enjoy it.
sharing that.
It's beautiful.
I'm trying to get back now. How do we get back? Here we go. Okay.
Are you fluent in Spanish?
Of course not.
So
Un
But
poco
that's also
español.
why I'm here. So I'm looking to I'm working on it.
Good. Muy bien.
Gracias.
now, does that mean that that horn signaled that Maurice is going to be our Toastmaster of the evening next Monday for table topics?
Table topics I'm going to subscribe for.
Okay, Maurice. And that I'm playing the role of Vice President of Education, and I'm stepping in to volunteer Maurice, or he volunteered himself, Maurice. And Ruth,
We heard that was smooth. I would like to take all of the helper roles,
helper roles.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
That's
and
great.
I'm going to help Mary to sign up for one of the helper roles. So we're going to do it together again next week.
Okay.
Nice. And I have a sheet if you want to me to email you one that it actually helps and it lists everything. And all you do is just tick, 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 tick. It's much easier to write down.
That would be
Um,
great.
yeah, yeah,
May I
yeah. Sure,
give
I'll
you?
share it with everyone. This way we can, use it to add it to your um, Rolodex of tools. I don't know if my audio and my video is syncing up properly because I see myself, but I'm not moving. So
Yeah, I see you.
um,
Oh, let me see if I
Yeah,
can
you
see
are
your
sort of
later.
swaying.
Is it possible
You,
to share email? Paul, I have yours, but Paul, can you share Ruth's?
Yeah, Ruth, what you could do is you could put your email in the chat.
I
So
Sure.
won't be able to copy and paste it. But if Paul can send it in my LinkedIn,
what
like we do
what
Messenger,
okay. Oh yeah, Ruth's connected to me. I could connect you
yeah, cool.
because she's positively representing you. So maybe you need to hire her
There
full
you
time.
go.
you got it.
Love it.
You have a big
Love it.
budget. She doesn't require much. She work for food and plans and health insurance.
I'm the same way, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Gas money.
power and light.
Gas, insurance,
you know,
nothing
I'll,
big.
I'll put you in my suitcase. How about that, Ruth? You can come
Oh, that
along
would
with
be
me to Guatemala.
wonderful.
I know, right?
I'm
Yeah.
up
Oh
for
no, you
it.
don't. You ain't going nowhere.
Your
Okay.
suitcase has wheels, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, you'll
For
need
sure.
it.
I
All
didn't,
right, guys.
I
Thank you
wasn't
so much
going
for a
there.
wonderful.
I was just saying because I don't want him to hurt his back.
Of course, when you go enjoy your evening, Paul, completely understandable.
All right. So
All
I'm
right.
going to turn the meeting back over to our president pro tem, and I'll now take my fierce gavel and knock it on the ground to officially adjourn our meeting. And then the last couple of seconds, since you guys are both on, before I hit the stop record button, if Maurice, if you're still there, tell us one thing you loved about our meeting for the 90 minutes and one thing you learned.
Sure. One thing I loved is, of course, seeing how Toastmasters finesse the different roles. As I shared when I first came in a meeting months ago, or maybe last month, I'm in a small club, and so it is challenging to do it all. But at the same time, I think something I learned, Paul, is the transparency. It's okay to tell us, okay, here is, I'm starting my time and I'm stopping my time, and this is where it's at. So the transparency in how you delivered the different roles was encouraging, but also something that I would tend to model in a future session. So thank you for that.
And now, Ruth, thank you too. I appreciate all of the things you said for sure. And then, Ruth, tell us one thing you liked from today's meeting and one thing you loved and one thing you learned.
I loved that I was kind of moving into, like we all were, the deep end of the pool. And I'm very glad that I can speak for 4 to 6 minutes. Truth is, even though I think I can't talk that long without having it pre planned, once you get me started, I don't stop. And you know that really well, Paul. So
And
does your
I'm going
wife,
to
who
piggyback on
you
top
alluded
of
to.
that too, which I literally am going to piggyback on top of that.
So cute.
And the piggyback on top is that this is our second meeting where we now have three countries involved. The last was Ernie from London or another city in the United Kingdom, and he's a distinguished Toastmaster, I think, as well. And then Maurice, distinguished Toastmaster, is talking to us from Guatemala. I want to say
Mhm.
Ecuador. Okay, one of those Spanish-speaking countries. And now, so we have Guatemala and United Kingdom and the U.S. all here at OMG Biz Cafe or omgtalk.com, the stage that you could take with you. So thank you guys for attending. And any last words before I hit the stop button? Something positive. Everybody say achievement together. Achievement.
Amen.
Achievement.